Hello and welcome to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. I'm Silver.
I'm Chaotic. I wasn't sure which one we were doing today. Glad to be up to date.
I wasn't sure either.
Oh, cool.
Not till we get there. Welcome to the first episode of 2024.
Woohoo!
It's been a whole year since we last put an episode out.
Oh my god. You had to do it, huh?
Yep.
You had to do it.
This episode is coming a little later than normal. We had ourselves a little break for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
But Chaotic, are you ready to get back into it?
I am.
Do you know what the monster is?
I do not. What are we doing today?
We're going all the way to China.
All the way to China?
Yep. And we're talking about a creature that is undead.
Okay.
And it is a mix of a vampire and a zombie.
Okay.
And it would be the Jiangshi.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the Jiangshi?
It sounds familiar, but I probably couldn't tell you a thing about it.
Okay. It'll probably jog your mind as it's your favorite Overwatch character. Has a skin of it.
They have a skin of it?
Yes.
Is it Farah?
Nope.
Reaper?
No.
Which one is my favorite character, Matthew?
Well, at least last I knew it was May.
I do love May, but that was not who I first thought of. Especially undead. I usually think of Farah or Reaper because they get all the cool like undead skins.
This was back 2 years ago, I think. May got this skin of the Jiangshi.
Now I'm gonna have to pull it up.
I think it was the Lunar New Year that she got the skin.
Okay.
Or it might have been the Halloween event. It was probably the Halloween event.
Okay.
And she's even got an emote that represents the Jiangshi with it.
Ooh. I bet I have the skin. How embarrassing is that? I bet I have it. And I don't know shit about it. I'm about to pull up Overwatch and look.
It's actually a pretty famous monster.
Is it? I mean, it sounds familiar, so I guess I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't be like, is it? Because it probably is, but...
It was used a lot in the 80s in movies, in the early 90s.
Okay.
Would you like me to tell you its common name? Maybe it'll jog your memory.
Yeah, hit me with it.
The hopping vampire.
No, that makes it worse. I'm going to be honest. I've never heard of that. Hang on, here we go. Opening the Overwatch.
You probably could have Googled it.
Don't you talk to me sideways. I need to see if I own it now.
Talking to you sideways. This is it.
You better just quit. Oh my god. Terrible. Jiangshi, I do not own it. I do now. It's very cute. I even equipped it. She's got little fangs.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right.
I've witnessed the Jiangshi emote. Do you have her emote?
I did not have the emote. I just bought the whole thing, though, so.
She does little hopping motions with her arms straight out.
Oh, my God. Like a zombie.
Uh-huh.
I love that.
Because it's a zombie vampire.
No kidding. Wow, crazy. Had no idea. What a wild ride.
So the Jiangshi, or the Chinese hopping vampire, it also kind of translates out to meaning stiff corpse.
Okay.
And it pretty much, what it is it is a vampire zombie that is stuck in rigor mortis. So its only way to move itself around is by hopping.
Oh my.
So usually their arms are straight out in front of them, and they just kind of hop their way towards you. and they want to suck out your life force or your chi.
No kidding. Wow, your chi? We're
Mhm.
getting deep? All right.
Originally, it was not your blood. They would just suck out your life force.
Okay.
But later on, when it got mixed with the more Eastern vampires,
Uh-huh.
European vampires, they got started into the blood drinking for their life force stealing. Other than its movement,
Uh-huh.
the Jiangshi is most recognizable with its tire,
It's tire?
a tire.
A tire. Okay. It's clothing, not its little rubber tire.
Yes,
Got you.
it's not from the movie Rubber.
That's disappointing that I'm not talking about a killer vehicle tire, I'm gonna be honest.
Well, what the Jiangshi is usually wearing, they're usually dressed in the uniform of the Qing dynasty's official. And I'm not sure exactly why they're all always depicted as it. They're not all officials.
Okay.
There's a couple little things here and there I read that a reason it could be, whether it's because of movies and people wanted a more recognizable outfit that was relatively cheap for the Jiangshi to wear in the movies,
Uh-huh.
or it was kind of like a anti-Qing dynasty propaganda type deal, saying that they're all vampires.
Okay. Just like a common ground for them to all like appear as.
Yeah, there's a couple other slight things that you can tell with the Jiangshi is that they look like normal humans. Some of them look a little more decomposed than the others.
Mm-hmm.
Their nails and hair do not stop growing, so they usually have long hair and long nails, very sharp, long teeth. Sometimes they emit a green glow, kind of like a mossy type stuff attached to their skin.
Okay. That's actually pretty neat. I like that.
And then to make things even weirder,
Mm-hmm.
in a couple stories, after they get so much power they acquire, they learn the skills of flying, but they're still stiff. So I don't know whether they're just up and float and fly that way, or if they
Right.
Superman with their arms down.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the weirdest one I've seen is they gain the ability to transform into wolves.
Okay, that's. Are we sure they're vampires? Or did just the very first werewolves also suck the life out of people? You know what I mean?
It could be. These were some old stories from what I heard, seen. It could be just down in China in their folklore. They just kind of mixed up vampires, zombies, and werewolves.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of just both.
hmm Would you like to know the somewhat origin of the Jiangshi?
I would actually.
So the stories of them came from a practice for transporting corpses over long distance.
Mm-hmm.
So if a person died far away from home, the family member could hire I believe it was a Taoist priest to go retrieve the body or to conduct a ritual to retrieve the body.
Mm-hmm.
And what this ritual did is it reanimated the dead person.
Okay.
Because, bodies are heavy. So with it being reanimated, they usually press it's like a yellow paper talisman on their forehead, which would give them control over the Jiangshi. And to transport them, they would walk behind them and ring a bell. And every time they'd ring the bell, it'd make the Jiangshi jump.
It'd make them jump.
Yep. And that's how they'd walk the Jiangshi back to the village where it needed buried.
Okay. That's a little terrifying, but okay.
And they'd usually only transport it this way at nighttime because it was said to be bad luck to gaze upon the corpse driver.
Okay.
And the corpse driver would usually wear a cloth over his face.
Very creepy. All right.
You can just imagine a bunch of lines of bodies just jumping down through the street with the guys ringing bells at midnight.
Yeah, that'd be a little weird. I'd hate that a whole lot. Like a whole lot. Not a little lot. A whole lot.
Just a whole lot.
A whole lot.
Bells in the middle of the night are creepy as it is.
Yeah, and then you got this whole fucking weird ass ritual thing going on. There's bodies hopping and shit. I'm good.
Another origin, kind of related to how they used to transport bodies, was that two people would go to retrieve bodies and they would tie bamboo to their like shoulders and arms. Then in the center would be the corpse strung up on the bamboo. So as they're walking the corpse would just kind of be hopping along in between them because it's tied to these bamboo rods. And that would give them the illusion of them hopping going through the streets. But that's kind of the non-mythical possible way for the origin of the Jiangshi.
Okay.
Would you like to know how to make the monster?
Yes, for absolutely no reason at all.
There's a couple different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, a Jiangshi can be made when a person suffers a violent death, like suicide, hanging, drowning, or if the body is not given a proper burial, or if the burial was postponed, the body may become restless.
Okay.
Another way is if the body fails to decompose after it's buried, it becomes a Jiangshi.
Mm-hmm.
If the corpse is struck by a bolt of lightning, it could become one. If a corpse is hopped over by a animal,
Oh.
particularly cats, it turns the body into a Jiangshi. The use of supernatural arts, kind of like the Taoist priest.
Okay.
If a corpse absorbs enough yang qi to return to life. But those are kind of ways a Jiangshi is made.
That's a lot of ways for possible creation. I think my favorite is the animal jumping over them. Not gonna
There's
lie.
one instance I've seen on that one is that it is particularly effective if it is a pregnant cat.
Oh, what a vibe.
Because you got technically you have all the little kittens jumping over as well.
I didn't even think about that. That's cute. That is a cute addition. Very, very cute. Very cute.
Now that we have learned how to summon one,
Yes.
I think the lightning strike would probably be the easiest, or the cat one.
Yeah, I was gonna say cat one probably. I don't know, because cats will jump over anything but what you want them to jump over, so maybe not.
True. Very true. But would you like to know its destruction, how to destroy it, and their weaknesses, in case you
Yes.
encounter one?
Yes.
Well, these hopping vampires have OCD.
Uh-huh.
So one way to distract them is take a pouch full of coins and just toss it on the ground.
Oh.
They will stop it and they will have to count them all.
Okay.
So if you get one hopping after you, just dump a bag of coins.
Okay.
They are also blind.
Blind?
Yep. And they track you through your breath.
Okay.
So you need to hold your breath when they're around and they will not be able to find you.
Okay.
My question to you, since you're a horror movie enthusiast.
Since I'm a what? No, yeah. Okay. I hear ya.
What do you think came first? Holding the breath for Jiangshi
Uh-huh.
or the standard horror movie trope of when the bad guys are near, they hold their breath?
Probably the Jiangshis, especially since it sounds like they were like one of the first official like vampiric creepy creatures.
It was a long time ago. I did not get a date. I should have did that.
Yeah, it's probably been. I mean, especially if they were, I don't know. But I would say I would say the Jiangshi came before the classic hold your breath.
Is it just a human reaction to horror? I don't go to a lot of haunted houses. That's why I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think it's just like it is. I mean, I don't necessarily hold my breath per se, because like I guess you're holding your breath and when you're hiding from them. So it's like hit or miss, I guess. I could see why somebody would, but like there's also people who just straight up scream in the face of terror, you know? So I think it just depends. But I would say the Jiangshi came pretty early on in the creepy crawly what do I do here notions. Holding your breath seems like a pretty logical thing to do.
Yeah. Another way that's really easy to deter them is you just nail the notes I found said a 15 centimeter piece of wood across the bottom of your door. that'll stop
Okay.
them from entering because they cannot jump over it.
15 centimeter, huh? Specifically?
Imagine probably any wood big enough to cover the bottom of your door. They keep them from jumping over. They also do not like mirrors because they are terrified of their own reflection.
Terrified of their own reflection?
Yes, they scare themselves.
They scare themselves. I love that though, because like, you know, the classic vampire lore is that they can't even see themselves. So
Mhm.
maybe they like broke off from them and like what is evolutionarily progressed, and they were like, just get rid of the whole reflection if they're gonna scare themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd
Like
be a.
just get rid of the whole evolutionary reflection if they're gonna scare the shit out of themselves.
Yeah, we don't need these. We don't need the whole reflections. It's okay. Another thing is any item made from wood of a peach tree, because peach is the essence of the five elements. It can subjugate evil auras and deter evil spirits. There's a lot. Let's see. I'll let you know how many more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll just go through them real quick.
Okay.
We got a rooster's call, because evil spirits withdraw when they hear a rooster's call,
Okay.
because a rooster's call occurs during the sunrise.
Oh, okay. Even though that's not true anymore, roosters are fucking idiots.
Yeah. Roosters have worst sense of times than, well, most people.
Honest to God. They don't know what day it is or what
Mhm.
time. They're so lost.
You could, in order to destroy or stop the Jiangshi, you could nail 7 jujube seeds into the
Jujube seeds.
yes,
Okay.
into the acupuncture points on the back of the corpse.
I have no words for that. But all right.
A jujube,
Uh-huh.
I believe it is a Chinese. Its common name is a Chinese date.
Okay.
Now we get to the more, yeah, of course it would kill them type of
Right.
things. We got fire.
Fire. We love fire.
Yep. A axe, a stonemason's awl, a broom.
A broom?
Uh, yes, a broom.
Like smacking them with it or like
They did not explain.
okay, I'm just gonna scare them off with a broom. That's a vibe.
I don't know if the broom was made out of peach wood. The list I found just said broom. I found it funny. You just sweep them away. Hop on out of here.
Hop on out of here now.
There's a report of vinegar,
Okay. They wouldn't survive Ohio.
glutinous rice or rice chaff.
Okay.
There is a fantasy novel that kind of mentioned hooves of a black donkey,
Uh-huh.
but that was in the fantasy novel, so I'm not sure if that counts.
Might.
A piece of thread stained with a concoction of black ink, chicken blood, and burnt talisman.
All right.
Blood of a black dog.
Okay, that's specific.
It's always the black dogs.
And it's rude, right? Like it's
Yeah,
honestly rude. It's because they're Grims, I'm telling you.
yeah. And then the most common way that is depicted in kind of like movies and stuff is a Taoist talisman stuck to its forehead, which will immobilize them.
Okay.
Which is like on May's skin, she's got the yellow talisman. Kind of what they used to control them in that one story when they hopped.
Mm-hmm. Like like completely? Is it like a corpse? Or is it just like pretending to be a sleep possum still? You know what I mean? Like there's a difference.
I mean, he's still a undead, unalived, dead.
So is there still like creepy dead on still, or is it like sleeping still?
It's like hitting the pause button on a video game,
Okay.
and
Okay.
if you pull the talisman off, he starts hopping again.
Oh God.
Would you like to move on to media?
Yes. Yeah, actually, I would like to know, other than May, what they are, what they're in.
So, there's a Netflix show out that I suggest you watch called Mr. Midnight.
Okay.
There's 3 kids, I believe,
Mhm.
and they're in, I don't remember where they're at. They go through and they kind of experience ghosts and uh, supernatural events. And the Jiangshi is in there in a part,
Ooh.
and they do end up doing some of the. It seems very accurate to the lore and stuff. I don't know why I didn't write it down in my notes, but it is Mr. Midnight
Okay.
on Netflix. But it also appears in the Jackie Chan Adventures,
Okay.
the episode Chi of the Vampire. They see one in Power Rangers, Jungle Fury, Kung Fu Panda, The Legend of Awesomeness,
Oh yeah.
Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball. Even like the little Chaozu. I don't know if you remember Chaozu from Dragon Ball.
I do.
He's dressed in kind of the attire of the Jiangshi with his little hat and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We got Mei from Overwatch, which I told you about.
Correct.
They appear in Super Mario Land.
Super Mario Land.
There's a boss kind of themed after them. Castlevania. There's a tabletop role playing game that came out in 2021 called Jiangshi Blood in the Banquet Hall, where you're playing as Chinese immigrants in the US and Canada, and you're managing a restaurant while battling Jiangshi.
While battling them?
Mm-hmm.
A restaurant.
Yeah, you're in the restaurant and you're trying to save the restaurant by battling the Jiangshi, from what I understood.
Okay.
The kind of movies was the 1990 movie Mr. Vampire.
Mr. Vampire.
Then there was Encounters of the Spooky Kind in 1980. Then in 1989, which I just realized all my dates are out of order.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the film Vampire versus Vampire. And the description of it was a Taoist priest and a childlike Jiangshi encounter a British vampire. The Jiangshi saves the priest when his spell for taming the Jiangshi are fruitless against vampires.
Okay.
Which sounded interesting. I haven't looked into where to watch it yet. There's a Jiangshi cat in the Battle Cats game. And I just recently learned that there's a Jiangshi manga
Ooh.
on Shonen Jump's app. Oh yeah, and in the anime, I was going to call it Soul King, but it's not Soul King. What's it called? Chaotic.
Uh.
It's the anime where the guy can use ghosts to power his sword, where they fight with ghosts and spirits.
It's not. It's not Demon Slayer, right?
No, it's an old anime from the 90s, but they were just
Inuyasha?
reading.
No.
No,
I'm trying to think of somebody who imbues their sword like that. I can't think of anybody who imbues their sword like that. Why am I broken right now?
Shaman King.
Ah!
Shaman King is what it is. I knew it'd come to me.
I don't know why my brain couldn't do that. It was too much.
Yeah, in the Shaman King anime, there is a person who uses Jiangshis to fight for them. But it's not a rigor mortis type Jiangshi. It's a little different. Yeah, but those are all my media notes.
I guess from everything you know, is there any particular mayhem that you see progressing out of them that's like dire?
With all their weaknesses, and if we knew they were coming, if we had prep time, I think would be fine. I think it's when they catch someone off guard is when their best elements would be.
Okay.
If the since we can't really place them in a school setting, being kind of zombie vampires,
Mm-hmm.
not really high intelligence. What do you think the world would be like if we had a zombie apocalypse, but they were all Jiangshi?
Manageable. I don't think we would have to like stress. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be like,
Oh, and there's I just remember there's one other thing about the Jiangshi. It's transferable.
oh, transferable?
If you get bit by a Jiangshi, you can turn into a Jiangshi.
Interesting.
So it's like the zombie part there.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that change anything? Do you still think it's manageable?
Yes. Like you said, I think if it was like something like at first we may not be, but I think we could eventually just like manage it. I think we'd be okay. There might be a couple of people that get hurt early on.
I think if people start learning that you can take them out with fire and axes,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be a good way to clear a safe area. But of course, normal zombies you can also clear out with fire and axes.
Yeah. The issue though is like the normal zombies and stuff are like, I guess I don't want to say like scarier because all of it's kind of scary, but like real zombies, like World War Z zombies that are like super fast like that and stuff, like that's not manageable.
Super fast is not something that the Jiangshi is, from what I understood, with the topping. Unless they gain the ability to fly and turn into wolves, which would turn into a later issue down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're surviving fine, but then wolves start getting into your camp or they start just flying over your barricades.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, that's a little scary. I don't know. I do. I think maybe I'm overestimating myself. But I think we'd be okay. Do you think it would be manageable?
Yes, I would agree. If we can get it under control quick enough.
That's a fair point too.
I think we would start getting issues once they start to learn how to fly.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole ass problem.
Yeah. Other than that, I think they would be fairly easy to. Well, I guess even if they learn to fly, I wonder if they still got the OCD of just drop coins and they'll start counting them.
That's true. They just dive down.
Mm-hmm. And it's another matter of trying to find anybody that's of the Taoist faith that can make the talismans to freeze them. Is another thing. But I think it's more of not a big deal. A mob of them could possibly turn into something worse.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. You know, I think we'd be okay. Hopefully.
How people would react, though, they'd probably laugh at them.
That's kind of where we. That's where we get the sketchiness, because like, how serious are they going to take it?
I'm sure if they listen to this episode, they can learn how to survive.
That's true.
Start nailing boards to the bottom of your doors. They can't get in. Alrighty then. Well, with that, shall we wrap up the episode?
Yes.
We'll first thank our patrons that are patrons so far, as Mondi, Ruby, and Mage. And we got more Patreon announcements.
Patron announcements. One of them things.
Go ahead, Chaotic.
Why do I have to fucking present? I've got to write the things. We will be writing essentially Silver and I's episodes that we talk about. Well, not just Silver and I's. I'll be doing a lot of funny episodes, including everyone that has ever been on here. But I'm going to be writing like little mini episodes, like comics kind of without the pictures of our adventures and our people. Very excited. Our things that we talk about, our myths and our mayhem.
Yeah.
But only patrons get exclusive access to do the thing.
Yeah. Should we set it at the lowest tier? Just so everybody has it?
Yeah. Maybe if you're in a higher tier, I'll have something extra for you every week.
So we have 3 tier rankings. Little bonus stuff is going to be under the mythical tier at $3 a month. Then we have our mayhem rank at $6 a month and our legendary rank at $12 a month. And yeah, if you're at the mayhem rank or higher is when you get shouted out.
Yeah.
So even at the mythical rank, you'll get a special role in our Discord, and
you'll get like you always get like, you know, we'll always, if we have like somebody we want to invite or do, then we can always like invite you guys. That lets
Yeah.
us know that you guys want to join and do the things, and you become like a cool part of the group. So a good idea if you'd like to be on the show.
With the Patreon news kind of updated, would you like to any news for Chaotic?
Chaotic does not have any news. Chaotic is working her life away right now. So any episodes that come up that are late and or wilding are absolutely Chaotic's fault. I'm in hate with my job, but I love my manager and my friends, so it's a very difficult situation. I don't want to leave her hanging, but I don't want to be working there no more.
As is every job.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be pursuing my career right now and writing for Monies, and instead I'm working at somewhere I should have stopped, never came back to. I just wanted Christmas money, and now here I am roped into it.
It's still not Chaotic's fault. I might find some more things to try and, I know we said before, but TikToks and whatnot, I shall be trying some more of my hand at. And more special guests this year, because this is going to be our start of our third year.
Start of our third year?
Yeah.
My God, we're old.
Because this is episode 78.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
We're fancy.
And we did meet our year-end goal.
Yes.
I'll try and make another goal and figure out what we still need to figure out what we need to do for reaching our goal.
We do need to figure out what we want to do for it. We could do a lot of cool stuff. Should have fucking a mass amount of people come in again. It was hilarious.
That was chaotic.
It was, but fun. That was probably one of the most fun episodes.
It was. Trying to bring everybody back that we had on in 2023. I was going to say in December, but that whole month, whole year.
Mm-hmm. All right, we ready for the outro?
I am if you are.
All right. Thank you for listening to Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver and Chaotic take you into the depth of the lore and discuss how these legends could affect modern-day society. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or almost any podcast service easiest to you. Dive into the depths of chaos with us every Wednesday, bar Silver and Chaotic not missing their scheduling, and consider joining the podcast Discord or Twitter for even more insider looks and some D&D sessions. If you'd like some extra special inside looks or even want to be a guest on the show, consider helping us via Patreon. Your help makes such a big difference to us both. Until next time, Mythics, you never know what kind of mayhem we might get into.